lovers of YouTube, and I'm going to start a new video segment on my channel called Movie Talk. And this is going to be about books that have turned into movies and my reviews on them and how I think they played out and if they were good or not. And the first movie I'm going to talk about is Divergent because I went and saw it the night it came out with one of my really good friends and we fangirled together and it was so great. First off, if you have not seen this movie, exit out of this video because I do not want to ruin anything for you. Because the movie is amazing. Like, I don't want to ruin anything for you. Watch the movie and you can come back my review of the movie and how well they did. So, till then, goodbye! Alright, for those of you who have watched it, if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing Dauntless clothing. I went to the movie dressed in all black and said I was Dauntless. My friend went as Amity, and we were great. My pants are also black. I'm wearing black sweatpants. You just can't see them. Anyways, so Divergent. I was super pumped for the movie. I had never heard of the book before, and then I saw somewhere on Tumblr that it was being turned into a movie, and so I decided, oh, I'll pick it up. So on summer vacation, when I was in Florida, I picked up the book and I read it, and it was great and amazing, and I was just like counting down the days till the movie came out. And, you know, it's getting closer, and I got my friend to read the book, and I told her it was absolutely fantastic, and she loved it. She fell in love with the characters, and she's actually reading Allegiant right now. And so we fangirled together. We're counting down the days, and we're like, we're gonna go see it the night it comes out. So, you know, drive out there, and we get there. We're in the movie theater, we're sitting, I'm like, all right, Haley, you ready? You ready for this? And she's like, I'm so ready. I gotta see 4 on the screen. And anyways, so we're sitting there, and as the movie's getting ready to start, The Fault in Our Stars trailer comes on, and we started bawling together. It was kind of sad, and I was like, I don't think we're supposed to cry at a movie preview, but we did. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this movie. Moving on. This movie was absolutely fantastic. On my range of book to movie adaptations, it was not Percy Jackson, because those are absolutely terrible, yet I'm going to continue to go watch them because I've read the books. Anyways, and it's not exactly Catching Fire, which is like exactly like the book. It's probably my all-time favorite book to movie adaptation, but it's right below Catching Fire. It was absolutely fantastic, and I loved it. Now, before the movie came out, my friend and I went through the cast list because, you know, you read the book and you create these characters and the way they look, and you imagine all these different things, you create this person, and then when it's turned into a movie, you have to go look at the cast list and see if they fit into who you created for yourself. And I was very pleased with Shailene Woodley as Triss. She is drop-dead gorgeous, and I wish I could just look like her. I was hesitant about Theo James, though. I mean, he is drop-dead gorgeous, don't get me wrong, and he's got an accent that I would drop dead for. But Tobias is 18, and Theo James is in his 20s, and he does not look 18, so I was kind of hesitant about that, knowing that he's 18 and all. Loved Christina. I was like, she fits the part completely. Will and Al didn't like it. I was like, they weren't the people I imagined. They were nothing like who I pictured as Will and Al as I was reading the book. And also, I didn't picture Peter that way. And Peter looked a lot older than 16 when I was looking at his pictures and stuff for the cast list, and I was like, I'm not very pleased with Peter, Al, or Will. They were like my 3 least favorite, along with Eric. Eric was kind of what I pictured him like, although a lot more piercings, and I keep seeing edits of people making fun of Triss because she can't count. Because in the movie, Eric has 1 facial piercing, and in the book, he has like 40,000. So let's dive into the actual movie part. Watching the movie, the factions, the way it was set up, not exactly how I pictured it, but I really liked it. It was completely fantastic, and I loved how all the colors like meshed together. Oh, it was just beautiful, and I loved it. The visual imagery in this film was absolutely fantastic. Loved it. I got excited when they all run for the train, and I'm like, okay, this is it. And she meets Christina, and they become friends, and that jumping scene when they jump onto the roof of the Dauntless compound, I was like, I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, jump, jump, you're gonna miss the landing, you're gonna miss the landing, you're gonna be stuck on this train and it's all gonna be over. And I'm sitting there, like, me and my friend are sitting there, and we're like talking to the screen, like, jump Tris, and it's really funny because she's gonna jump and she's gonna make the landing, but you're still in that anticipation, like, but what if she doesn't? What if she doesn't make it? And she made it in that one scene where she tells Christina, she's like, we'll jump together, and they jump together, and I was just like goosebumps because I love that scene. That just shows how much they're meant to be best friends, and they're just so adorable together, and I love them. First to jump, again, I found myself sitting there on the edge of my seat with my friend, and we were like, Tris, 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 and I'm like, we know she's gonna be the first to jump, but still, it's like, come on, Tris, come on, speak up, you're gonna go, you're gonna be the first, go jump, go jump. I didn't picture the jump, like the hole she falls through, or a hole in a ceiling. I pictured it's like the giant chasm in the ground or something like that, and she falls through. Anyways, and then we meet 4, and I just sat on the edge of my seat, and like I squealed so loud when he came on screen because he is so attractive, and Theo James did an amazing job as pulling off 4. I think he was absolutely perfect for the character, and he was gorgeous. And the first time you hear him say, welcome to Dauntless, and I was just like, oh, the feels. So freaking attractive, and I was like, just make out now. Just you two make out now. We can skip the rest of the book. Just kiss. Get it over with. I need it now. I can't go through any of this. And then whoever screamed coming down, I'm pretty sure it was Peter. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, yeah, you're not all big and bad now, are you, Peter? Don't like Peter. I was scared when she fought Molly. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna get the shit beat out of her, and I'm not ready to watch this. But I watched it, and I thought it was so sad because it's like, I hate watching people get beat up, and like it's like an epic action scene, like in the middle of a fight or something, not like training for initiation, because it's sad. They didn't exactly show her getting better with knife throwing, which, I mean, I guess it's not really an important scene or anything. She just kind of was already good at it. But it does show her training and getting better, and I really like that. And I was like, just how Trish is changing and everything. And that knife throwing scene with 4 was insane. I was terrified. I was like, he's gonna like nail her in the middle of the forehead, and the movie's gonna stop right now. It's not even gonna be 2.5 hours long, and I'm probably gonna cry because of the end of the movie. Although I know I'm insane because that wouldn't happen. So I loved the movie. I think it was absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best book-to-movie adaptations I have ever seen, although there are 2 nitpicky things that I did not like about this movie, and that was it didn't show Tris and Al having a thing. Like, they have a thing in the book. They like each other, and like he likes her, and she's trying to decide if she likes him back and everything. And then again, Will and Christina were a thing, and it didn't even highlight that at all. Like, yes, there was like one scene where they like held hands, but other than that, like, it didn't go into how big of a disaster that's gonna be throughout Insurgent when Christina finds out Will is dead. Like, you have to know that Christina and Will really liked each other, and they were like together, and that Tris killing Will is gonna have this huge disastrous effect on their friendship when she finds Christina again. And again with Al, like, you just saw after he jumped and they found his body, you only saw Tris crying, and you thought it was because she was a friend, but technically it's because it's her fault, because she told him to stay away from her, and he really liked her, and he tried to apologize. And I wish they would have highlighted those 2 kind of relationship type things more in the movie so you could understand more of it like you did in the book. And other than that, that was pretty good. Although the chasm, didn't picture it like a river. That's what it looked like in the movie. It looked like this giant river that went below ground. I pictured it like a giant hole in the ground with railings around the hole and this water roaring up and splashing against the rocks, not a bridge over it. I didn't picture it like that, but I mean, I guess it's okay. Dauntless Confidant, again, isn't what I pictured it as, but it was good for how they used it. Anyways, and my other favorite part in the War Games scene is when Christina and Tris find the flag, and they're up there, and Triss's badass moment where she takes Molly down. Finally, Triss got her revenge on Molly, and I was happy. I was so happy, and then I was so glad they didn't put that tiff that Christina and Triss had when she was like, come on, just let me have this, you've already have something. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't like that scene because I was like, oh, maybe they're not going to be friends anymore, but they didn't put that in the movie. And I loved how Christina and Triss both came out holding the flag as a teamwork, and it was just fantastic. And I was like, that's a great change they did right there. It was one of my favorite changes from the book to the movie. I was completely upset that Uriah was not in the movie. He becomes a huge part in Insurgent. He is like this humongous part, and I keep hearing that they didn't put him in Divergent because they want him to have this big entrance in Insurgent, and I'm like, I don't care. Uriah should be in Divergent. And every time they did the boards with the ranks changing, I always pointed out Uriah's name as number 5, and I would always look at my friend Henry and I was like, hey, there's Uriah, he's still number 5, there's Uriah, now where is he in the movie? And, you know, you have this kid come up to Triss and ask if she wants to go ziplining with him and some of the other Dauntless initiates. I'm sitting there thinking, that is totally Uriah. And my friend and I had this discussion after the movie, and we were debating about it, and she's like, that was not Uriah. I pictured Uriah as black, and my friend pictured him as white. And I was like, no, that was totally Uriah. Uriah sounds like a black guy's name. And she was like, no, it's white. My dad has a friend named Uriah, and he's white. And I'm like, well, that's probably why you think he's white, because you know somebody named Uriah. I don't know anybody named Uriah. Anyways, so I was like, that is totally freaking Uriah. They're not going to say his name, but that is Uriah. And when Insurgent comes out and they introduce that actor as Uriah, I'm going to rub it in her face because I was right, and it was Uriah. Then we have the ziplining scene, and the ziplining scene was so fantastic, and I was scared. I felt like I was doing the zipline along with her, and we were going to hit buildings and everything, and I was terrified. But it was so great, and then it made me feel all these feels from reading the end of Allegiant, and I just like wanted to start crying. But I was like, no. Anyways, that was such a good scene, and I loved it, and I seriously thought she was about to hit that wall. I was like, oh no, Triss! And she was like that far away from the wall. Fantastic. The scene on the train when they're going to the war games, and Eric pulls out all these different guns and is handing them out, and one of the people ask him what's in the gun, and he pulls out the little dart thing that he has, and Molly's like, what's that gonna do? And he shoots her in the freaking leg, and she falls to the ground. I was like, that's what you get. Nobody likes you. Just go factionless already. And I thought that was so funny. I was like, you deserve that. It was great. Peter. Okay, let's get on the topic of Peter. The actor they picked for Peter did an actually great job, in my opinion, is what they gave him as lines and scenes to do. But I was upset because the scene that happens by the chasm with Triss and Al and the rest of them, the only person you saw in that scene pull his mask off was Al. And you didn't see that it was Peter, so you don't have that rage and anger for Peter that you feel throughout the books as in the movie, because all you think is he's a giant dick. That's about it, because thinks he's better than everybody else. So I wish we could have seen Peter and found that he was part of that. He was the original instigator of that and started that scene and everything. For interest moments, oh my goodness. I kept making sexual comments during the movie to my friend, telling him to take off his shirt and that he should come out of the movie and I'd take him home if Triss didn't want him. And I'm pretty sure everybody was staring at me, but I wasn't saying them that loud, I don't think. Anyways, the scene where he shows her his tattoos was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The tattoo artwork was not exactly how I imagined it. I imagined the 5 faction symbols, but I didn't imagine all of that. Those black, like, triangle type things along the sides and up to his shoulders and neck. Didn't picture that, but it played well with his tattoo, and I loved it, and I got chills from that scene. One of my favorite scenes. And then the kiss, and I was just like, and he tells her that, Sorry, I need a moment. And the simulation scene where she's following everybody else out of the simulation and then she finds 4. The scene in the train when she's moving from person to person. I seriously thought somebody was going to realize she was moving and they were going to turn around and kill her, like, dead on. And I was like, and then 4, and she couldn't tell if he was in the simulation or not. And then he reached and held her hand and I was like, so many feels you don't understand. Also, visiting day in the book, they didn't have that. They had her at some warehouse loading out bags and they ran into her mom. I'm a tie. I couldn't tell if I liked the way it was played out in the book better or the way it played out in the movie though. The way in the movie it was really nice. You saw her mom and I was just like, that's so cute. It was great the way that played out and I really liked that scene. And now we're going to talk about my favorite action scene of the entire movie. Oh my freaking goodness. The end scene where she is with 4 in the control room running the simulation and he's getting ready to kill her. And again, I'm like, no, 4, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And he didn't do it because she knocked him out of it and he's back. And that scene, she just takes the knife and throws it and nails Janine's hand to the computer screen. Oh my gosh, flippin' genius. Yes, that wasn't in the book, but I love the way that played it off. I was like, you know, you gotta have something happen to Janine. I mean, yeah, you can't technically kill her off yet, but nail her hand to the screen, like cut through her hand, and that was nasty, man. That was gnarly, but it was so freaking amazing. Best action scene. Oh, I just loved it. Oh, another nitpick I have about this movie. Tobias. They said his name as Tobias, and I keep hearing people pronounce it as Tobias. I don't like that name at all. I think it is completely stupid. I hate the way that's pronounced. The entire time I was reading the trilogy, I pronounced it Tobias, and I will continue to pronounce it Tobias, so don't comment trying to correct me. Tobias I think sounds so much better, and I'm going to continue to call him Tobias. I will never call him Tobias like everybody else. I think it just sounds weird. And erudite. How did they say it? I don't even remember how they said it. They said it really weird. It was like, I don't even know. I pronounced it erudite or erudite. Whatever. I didn't like the way they pronounced it in the movie. I was like, that doesn't even sound the way it's spelled. But whatever. Also, the scene with Trish's mom, when Trish's mom dies, I remember in the book she runs out and to distract the Dauntless coming through, and she does it to protect Trish and she's shot and she dies. In the movie, it wasn't like that. They were running away from Dauntless soldiers and Trish's mom was shooing her down an alley and she used her body to protect Trish, and in the end ended up being shot and dying. And I mean, I guess it's not that big of a difference. I mean, she was still doing it to protect Trish. As I'm watching this, and every time Caleb comes on screen, I just kept saying, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you. And I know he hasn't done what he does in Insurgent yet, because it's not Insurgent, it's Divergent, but still, I couldn't stop thinking of Allegiant, and I just kept sitting there thinking, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you, and it wasn't, and it just makes me mad. But Ansel Elgort did an amazing job playing Caleb. I'm excited to see him in The Fault in Our Stars. I'm excited to see both him and Shaylee play together. Other than that, this is the end of this movie talk. Absolutely enjoyed the film. Thought it was fantastic. I'm definitely buying it on DVD. I may go see it a second time in theaters. I don't know. So I hope you enjoyed this movie talk. I will see you next time with another book talk, Top 5 Wednesday, or a tag video. Hey, maybe I'll even do another one of these. Probably not very likely for a long time. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good morning, night, afternoon, day, whatever. I'll see you next time. I'm Chrissy. Goodbye. The faults of being a wallflower. That's definitely the title of that movie.